Special miners used only in the lack of electricity or big drilling machines, they used only basic hand tools such as hackers, hammers and chisels to carve huge building blocks out of the wall, because at that time they hit two birds with one stone. First of all, they mined the cellar, and on the other hand, they built a house from the stone which was mined out from the hillside. So they used only basic hand tools, but they were a bit lucky because under Eger there's a special bedrock which is called rhyolite tuff. That's a volcanic rock, what you can see right here or next to me. So it's a relatively soft rock, so it's relatively easy to carve. And the rhyolite tuff cellar gives a perfect 14 degrees temperature for the wine all year long, so you can store wine under our downtown for about 6, 7 or 8 years. So you can see the difference between our hackers, because the smaller ones were only good for scratching the surface. Those who wanted to mine, who wanted to make progress, used the hacker of Eger, which is called the dropper. Magyarul ejtőcsákánynak, vagy egri csákánynak hívjuk. It is approximately 6 or 7 kilograms, and they didn't have to hit the rock with this one. They just lift it up and drop it on that soft rock. That's how they carved the building material. Two buckets were used for catching up the grape juice, and the first one had a little tongue in the front, and it is a very funny name in Hungarian because we call it waste savior. So not one drop of grape juice fell on the ground. And do you know that what that thing on the wall was used for? Loco. We call it loco in Hungarian, that one. No? It's not familiar? Okay, so, and this one? What about this one? So, yes, we use it for sipping up the wine from the barrels, and then we can pour it into glasses. But originally, when there was no glass, they used real pumpkins for this purpose. And those pumpkins were grown in the vineyards, and so the pumpkin was hanged up. So its neck became so long after they hollowed it and used it for this purpose. So you can see a little river down here. I think this is the most beautiful part of the cellar. So this is groundwater, what you can see here. And this flows down to the bottom of the cellar. As you can see, the water cannot exit the cellar right now. And that is because of that yellow thing on the floor. Can you see that yellow thing on the floor? So if you look around the walls, it appears white. I'm sorry, originally it appears white on the walls with little stalagmites. So this is the chalk, the lime, which is washed out from the rhyolite tuff, from the bedrock. And this lime covers almost everything. So this canal should be at least 40 centimeters deep. We always have to take the lime out of this canal because the water flows into the upper cellar lines. This is our smaller problem. The biggest problem is that the water right now cannot exit the cellar. So this is the lime I was talking about. So this is the thing which covers almost everything. And that's why you have to drink wine in Eger, not water. Because it's very important. That's what you have to understand. So this is the line which covers everything here. And if you look around here, you can see two cellar lines. That will be a dead end. If you look left, you can see a little door there, and that door leads to the priest's cellar. Because up there, we are under the University of the Theological Studies, where the priests learn. And if you look into that cellar line, you can see that there is much more concrete on that wall. And that is because above that small cellar lines, came out and killed those small animals from the roots, which is called phylloxera. But the grape root is not 30 centimeters long. It goes down at least from 6 meters to 60 meters. That's why that's why also in America they found later on an American wild grape root which is resistant for phylloxera, and from that time we are using graft. You know what graft? We use an American wild grape root and we put the Hungarian grapes on top of them, that's how we plant them. Tehát azért használunk oldványokat, hogy ezt a phylloxera miatt használjuk. Amerikában találtam egy amerikai vadszőlő gyökeret, és onnantól kezdve arról adjuk rá a magyar nemesszőlőket, ezért nem támadják meg. Csak a homoki szőlők úszták meg a phylloxera vészt, a homokban nem tud közlekedni a gyökértető, mert ott összeomlanak a járatok. These presses because they weren't very efficient, and that is because of this square basket in the middle, because after pressing the grape, in the corners the grape remained whole. They also had to take the grape out and step on the grape also, so that's why they started to use this round basket. This is a French type press. Ez már a francia pés, ugye a magyar után elkezdtek használni. This is my, I just have a quick question here. This is my favorite barrel. And this barrel contains 367 liters of wine. Can you tell me why? And torches, they also measured time with candle, but the most important thing was indication. Because when a big amount of grape juice is fermenting down here, a special gas develops, which is lethal. If you inhale that gas, you can easily faint and suffocate. And that's what the candle indicates. If the candle goes off, you have to run out of the cellar because there's not enough oxygen down here. But this gas is heavier than air, always goes down to the bottom. That's why they always use the long candlestick, and they brought the candle next to their feet. But these huge cellars in Eger, these were safe from these gases because Eger is in a valley. And these huge cellars were carved upwards into the hillside. So if they reach water, like in our cellar, not only the water could flow out of the cellar, but this gas also, so these were mainly safe. Because of the concrete on the walls, because if we would put a barrel of grape juice right now here, the grape juice wouldn't turn into alcohol, but in 2 months it would turn into vinegar. And that's why these cellars are not good for making wine anymore. And that's because of concrete. Because the microclimate of the cellar changed so much after it was concrete lined that these cellars cannot be used for winery anymore. You could store wine here in bottles, but you cannot make wine in wooden barrels. Things. In the first one, they put the nut. They put the nut, so it was hanged up, so the mice couldn't reach it, and it could easily dry out. In the second one, they dry the fruits, such as apples and stuff like that. And the last one is the most interesting. So this basket is a hunting basket. We call it wild duck trap. It was put into the reef, and they fixed it. And they had to wait until the wild duck found this nest, made a nest in it, and they also waited for the little duck. Interesting object. Have you seen anything like this? Has any one of you seen something like this? No?
Is that got something to do with fumigating?
So, after you killed a pig, you have to burn the fur of the pig as a malac perc. You have to burn the fur of the pig, so they lit fire in it, they were turning this handle, and it got some air, so it was like a mint egy lángszóró, igen, mint egy lángszóró úgy működött. So this was, tehát ez volt a disznóperzső. Ez volt a disznóperzső. Have you ever eaten goose liver? Goose liver. So this, because that's a very expensive food. Yes, because they stuff the goose with corn and stuff like that, and the corn was put into it, and it was put into the yes. This woman is from Eger, and this woman is from the surroundings, from one of our surroundings village, because this is so this was a shopping bag at that time, but only those women used this shopping bag who lived around Eger. But those women who lived in Eger used that heavy wooden basket, which was also used for picking grapes. So when you were at the market, you could immediately say that she's from Eger and she's from the surroundings.